Hello, dear friends. We are happy to see you on our channel. Today, we have a lot of interesting and exciting things planned. We have prepared new stories, adventures, and funny moments for you. You won't want to miss this. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our videos.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I hope you're ready for real challenges and adrenaline. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and don't forget to comment. Your likes and subscriptions are really important to us. They help us create new stories and adventures, so don't hesitate to show your support.
We always try to make our stories interesting and thrilling, but sometimes it can be scary. We want you to know that your support means a lot to us. I hope you'll support us and help us overcome all the difficulties. Leave your comments and share your impressions. It helps us get better.
Yes, and don't forget to stay away from dirty and unpleasant situations like in our stories. We like it when things are clean and cozy, and we're sure you do too. Subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and leave comments so we know what you like and what you don't.
Today, we're going to play Roblox in the mode Barry's Prison Run. I heard it's scary, but I think it won't stop our boy Tim from easily getting through it.
Oh, I'm not sure it'll be that simple. There could be all kinds of traps, guards, and even creepy monsters. I'm so worried about Tim. What if he gets into some dangerous situation? We have to be very careful.
Stop panicking already. Tim has shown time and time again that he can handle any challenge. He's smart, strong, and always finds a way out of the toughest situations. Let's just support him and watch him deal with this prison.
I hope this prison isn't filthy and doesn't have any disgusting places. Can you imagine if there's something gross? That's just awful. Tim, please be careful and try not to touch anything nasty.
Everything will be fine, guys. Tim is our true hero, and we're going to support him every step of the way. Let's enjoy the game and believe in him. Tim, onward to new adventures. We're with you. Guys, look, we've entered a room full of lava. This is so exciting and dangerous at the same time. But I'm sure Tim can jump from platform to platform with no problems. He always handles these challenges so skillfully. The main thing is to believe in him and support him.
I don't know, guys. Lava is very scary. One wrong step and Tim could be in trouble. These platforms are so narrow and look so unstable. I'm really worried about him. He needs to be very careful and watch where he jumps. Maybe we should give him some tips on how to jump better?
Oh, stop panicking, anxiety. Tim will handle it. He's overcome obstacles like this before. He has the skills and strength to deal with this. The more we doubt, the more we hinder him. Let's just support him and show that we believe in his abilities. He'll do everything right, as always.
Time for stories. Today's story is about how joy, anger, anxiety, and disgust used to be inside the mind of a scientist who was developing a cure for a very dangerous disease. Let's dive into the story from their perspectives. It was an exciting time when we were inside Dr. Wilson's mind. He was working so hard to find a cure for a disease that affected so many people. I was always encouraging him, filling him with optimism and hope. I remember when he first saw the results of his experiments and how his face lit up with joy. We were all thrilled to see him so happy.
Yes, there were moments of intense frustration too. Dr. Wilson had to face many setbacks and failures. I was there to drive him to push harder, to channel his frustration into determination. Whenever things didn't go as planned, I made sure he stayed focused and didn't give up. It was all about using that anger productively.
I had my own role to play too. There were times when Dr. Wilson felt overwhelmed by the pressure of finding a cure. I was there to remind him of the stakes, to keep him alert and cautious. My job was to make sure he didn't overlook any details and to help him stay on track, even when things seemed daunting.
And let's not forget the challenges that came with the process. There were many moments that tested Dr. Wilson's resolve. Sometimes the lab work was messy and the results were less than pleasant. I was there to help him push through those gross and uncomfortable situations, to keep the focus on the end goal despite the unpleasantness.
In the end, all of us, joy, anger, anxiety, and disgust, played a crucial role in helping Dr. Wilson develop the cure. It wasn't easy, but together, we managed to turn the challenges into victories.
Indeed, the path was filled with obstacles, but our combined efforts led to success. We turned every setback into a stepping stone towards the cure.
And even though it was a tough journey, it was worth every moment. The cure was finally developed, and it saved many lives.
Yes, the process was often tough to handle, but the outcome was rewarding. We learned that even the most challenging situations can lead to something great.
And that's how we helped Dr. Wilson make a difference. We worked together to achieve something extraordinary. The next story is about how joy, anger, anxiety, and disgust helped our friend Tim find the lost recipe for the city's most delicious pizza. It was so exciting. Tim lost his favorite pizza recipe, and we all came together to help him find it. I was thrilled with the idea because I knew that with our team, we could recover the recipe and throw an unforgettable pizza party. We started the search with enthusiasm and energy, knowing that together we could tackle any challenge.
However, finding the recipe wasn't easy. We searched every corner of the kitchen, checked all the drawers and shelves, but the recipe was nowhere to be found. I got frustrated when I noticed that things were scattered around. To speed up the process, I suggested that Tim and the rest of the team approach the search more decisively and not waste time on trivialities.
I was worried that we might run out of time, and Tim wouldn't be able to make the pizza in time for the important event. Every minute counted, and I was checking all possible places where the recipe might be. I made sure every step of the search was carefully planned, so we wouldn't miss any crucial details and could find the recipe on time.
The search was quite a challenge. We came across a lot of dirty kitchen utensils and remnants of old food. I helped the team deal with the unpleasant tasks and pointed out all the dirty and off-putting areas so they could focus on the search. Despite the mess, I tried to remain patient and supportive of the team.
Finally, after a long search, we found the recipe hidden in an old notebook on the top shelf of the cupboard. It was incredibly joyful. Tim was so happy that the recipe was found, and we were able to host a fantastic pizza party. We all enjoyed the delicious pizza together, and it was just wonderful. Thanks to our team, the evening turned out to be unforgettable. The next story is about how Tim had an unforgettable time at summer camp. Summer camp was so much fun. Tim arrived there with immense enthusiasm and immediately immersed himself in the atmosphere of relaxation and adventure. Every day was packed with amazing activities, sports games, crafting workshops, hiking in the forest, and even evening campfires with songs and stories. I was so happy to see Tim enjoying every moment and making new friends. I especially loved when Tim participated in the paintball competition and was thrilled with his victory.
But not everything was perfect. There were times when things didn't go as planned, and it was irritating. For example, one day there was an unexpected delay in preparing lunch, and Tim and his friends were upset. I saw them worrying about losing time for their activities and games. I had to step in and suggest organizing additional activities to help them make up for the lost time.
I was anxious when Tim went on a couple of days' hike. I knew such adventures could be unexpectedly challenging and even dangerous. Every morning I checked to make sure he was okay and how the activities were going. I constantly asked the counselors and reviewed lists to ensure Tim was safe and enjoying his time. My anxiety eased a bit when I saw him come back with a big smile and a backpack full of experiences.
There were also some unpleasant moments at camp. For instance, I couldn't ignore how dirty and damp the tents sometimes were, especially after rain. Tim and his friends tried to handle it, but I saw how they were unhappy with their sleeping arrangements. My role was to help deal with these situations by providing cleaning tips and organizing help from the counselors.
Despite the challenges, the summer camp left Tim with so many positive memories. He returned home with a lot of stories, new friends, and joy in his heart. This camp became a true adventure for him, and we were all thrilled to see him grow and develop during those few weeks. Moments like these are remembered for a lifetime. We're so glad you joined us for this adventure. We hope you enjoyed our stories and had as much fun as we did.
Yes, and if you liked it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It's really important for us to keep you updated on all our new adventures. Also, please give us a thumbs up so we know you enjoy what we're doing.
Hey, don't delay! Subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. We worked hard for you, and it's the only way to support us. So come on, do it now!
Yes, and don't forget to leave a comment. We want to know what you liked or what you'd like to see next. And please, no dirty comments. It's important to us.
Goodbye. Hello, dear friends. I'm Joy, and I'm so happy you're with us today.
Hey there, I'm Anger. Ready for something really exciting? We've got something special for you.
Hi, it's Anxiety. I hope you're all doing well. Today's adventure will be a bit tense, but we'll get through it together.
Hi, this is Disgust. I hope you're all ready for new challenges and interesting moments. Let's get started.
Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like this video. It helps us keep doing what we love.
And leave comments so we know which adventures you like the most.
Yes, and share your thoughts. It's important for us to know what you think.
Ready? Then let's go. Let's start our adventure.
Today, Tim and I are going to play Roblox in the Escape Baby Bobby Daycare mode. I think it's going to be a lot of fun and very exciting.
Yeah, let's see if we can escape this daycare. It better be challenging.
I'm already feeling a bit nervous. Daycares can be full of surprises.
Let's just hope it's not too messy. I'm not a fan of sticky situations.
All right, let's get started and see what adventures await us.
Oh no, look at this huge room. And there are so many platforms to jump across. What if Tim misses and falls? These platforms are so small and far apart. What if he loses his balance? It's so scary. I don't know if he can do it.
Calm down. Tim can do this. He just needs to focus and be careful. It's a test of strength and endurance, and Tim will pass it. Stop doubting. If Tim gets nervous, he will definitely fall. He needs to stay focused and act confidently. We have to support him, not scare him, so let's cheer him on together.
You're right, Anger. It's just, I can't help worrying. I hope everything goes well. Okay, I'll try not to stress so much. Go, Tim, you can do it. We believe in you.
That's better. Hey, Tim, watch each platform carefully, take confident steps, and don't rush. You can do this. Imagine you're a hero overcoming all obstacles in your path. You got this. We believe in you.
Today we have an incredible story about Tim who accidentally found a magical flying skateboard. Yes, you heard it right. A skateboard that can fly. Tim was over the moon when he first soared through the air, and this was the start of his amazing adventure.
But joy was short-lived. As soon as Tim began using the skateboard, he ran into problems. Evil trolls appeared in town, wanting to steal the magical skateboard. They were a real threat. Tim and his friends had to fight to protect the skateboard from these nasty trolls.
Every time the trolls showed up, I was filled with worry. I always feared for Tim's safety. For instance, when the trolls captured one of Tim's friends, he had to carry out a dangerous rescue in underground catacombs. Every step was fraught with danger, and I was terrified at the thought of something bad happening.
I can't forget what Tim had to endure. When he sneaked into the troll's lair, he stumbled upon a disgusting swamp full of sticky, foul-smelling slime. The trolls lived in filth, and their lair was filled with unpleasant odors and revolting creatures. I was just appalled by what was happening.
But despite all the difficulties, Tim showed incredible courage and ingenuity. He used the magical skateboard to skillfully maneuver through obstacles and escape from the trolls. In the end, he managed to defeat the trolls and return the skateboard to its rightful place so no one else would be hurt.
Yes, Tim did it, but it was a real battle. The trolls not only wanted the skateboard, but also destroyed half the town. Every moment was filled with conflict and aggression.
But despite all the fears and worries, Tim and his friends managed to overcome. They learned to work together and use their strengths to tackle every challenge. It was very tense, but the outcome was worth it.
And even though the adventure was full of unpleasant moments, Tim showed that with determination and bravery, you can overcome any obstacle, no matter how awful.
So, kids, that was an amazing adventure. Thanks for spending this time with us. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss out on new stories and adventures of Tim. And the next story will be about Tim, who unexpectedly found himself in an incredible world where every day repeats over and over as if he had entered Groundhog Day. At first, it seemed amazing and fun, as Tim could do anything without worrying about the consequences.
But, as often happens, not everything was smooth. Tim quickly realized that each day repeated with small but annoying changes. Even simple things, like the order in his room or what he did in the morning, became a constant source of irritation. He tried to change his actions, but nothing could alter the fact that everything started from scratch again.
What worried me the most was that Tim didn't know when this endless day would end. Every time he thought he found a way to escape or change something, he woke up again on the same day. This created a huge sense of anxiety because he didn't know how to cope with the cycle.
And not only that, every day Tim faced the same unpleasant things. The memories of having to clean dirty spots in the house or repeatedly tidy up things that were already cleaned were just disgusting. All of this made Tim's day even more unpleasant.
But despite all the difficulties, Tim found a way to use this strange situation to his advantage. He learned to make each thing better than before. He used every repetitive day to perfect his skills, help others, and have fun. It was amazing how he turned even the most ordinary moments into something special.
Even though he continued to face annoying repetitions, Tim learned to deal with it. He stopped getting angry at every little mishap and started using his new skills to overcome challenges.
I saw how Tim became more confident and calm despite the constant repetition of the day. He learned to manage his anxiety by focusing on his goals and trying not to worry about when it would all end.
And even though many things remained unpleasant, Tim learned to take lessons from them. He stopped complaining about dirty and disgusting things and began to see them from a new perspective. It was unexpected but still useful.
In the end, when Tim learned to find joy in every moment and used his experience to improve the lives of those around him, the Groundhog Day ended. He returned to normal time, but with new knowledge and skills that helped him handle any difficulty.
And although the path was long and irritating, Tim managed to overcome this challenge and became stronger.
I was so happy to see Tim learn to cope with anxiety and find a way to handle any situation.
Yes, and even despite all the unpleasant moments, Tim was able to use his skills to make his life better. It was truly amazing.
And the next story will be about how Tim found himself on a magical island where all wishes come true. This island was full of amazing things: flying crystals, talking animals, and an ocean of chocolate milk. Tim was on cloud 9 with happiness.
But not everything was so rosy. The island had its problems. At first, Tim struggled with magical creatures who often got their wishes mixed up, leading to mishaps. Some island games were incredibly difficult and even frustrating.
I was worried about the unpredictability of the island. Every day, something new and strange happened. Snake rain, unexpected disappearances of objects, and unpredictable behavior from magical creatures. Tim didn't know what to expect, and it made him very anxious.
And I was grossed out by how some magical creatures left their mess everywhere. These creatures were messy, and there was dirt and sticky spots all over the place. Tim tried to find a way to deal with this mess, but it was quite a challenge.
Despite all the difficulties, Tim didn't miss a chance to enjoy the happy moments. He explored the island, met kind creatures, and took part in amazing adventures. In the end, he found a way to use the island's magic to make his day even more magical.
Although the island was full of challenges, Tim learned to handle them. He used his skills to overcome the toughest trials and turned frustration into motivation.
Over time, Tim got used to the strange and unpredictable events. He began to adapt to the new rhythm of life on the island and even found joy in unexpected twists.
Tim also found ways to deal with the dirt and mess. He became more tolerant of inconveniences and learned to find pleasure even in the least appealing aspects of island life.
Thus, Tim completed his adventure on the magical island, full of wonders and amazing discoveries. He learned to find joy even in tough situations and made the experience unforgettable.
Tim became stronger and more confident despite all the difficulties.
He learned to handle unexpected situations and grew more self-assured.
And even the dirt and mess didn't ruin his adventure. Tim learned to cope with inconveniences and find something positive in them.
So our adventure ends on a high note, with new knowledge and experiences that Tim will remember for a long time. Well, our stories have come to an end. We hope you enjoyed listening to them as much as we enjoyed telling them. We put a lot of heart into them and tried to make them interesting and exciting for you. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us continue creating new and thrilling adventures for you.
Yeah, and every like, every subscription, and every comment really matters to us. We want our stories to reach as many people as possible, and your support helps us a lot. Don't forget to leave comments so we know what stories you want to hear next. Your thoughts and suggestions are very valuable to us.
Thank you for being with us today. Avoid dirty situations unless they're in a story. Keep your space clean and your heart joyful. We're happy to share these moments with you and hope our stories bring you joy and inspiration.
Goodbye, everyone. See you next time. Hello, everyone, dear friends. I am Joy, and today we are going to play Roblox in the Escape from Coach Griffin mode. Look at this fat Peter Griffin. I think he's sleeping right in the class. We need to escape before he wakes up. Anxiety? Do you see the exit from here?
Hello, everyone. I am Anxiety. Joy, I think I see the exit from this room. It seems to be in that ventilation shaft. Shall we go check it out?
Yeah, let's go check it.
I think we won't pass this map without your help, but if you like and subscribe to the channel, we will definitely do it.
I completely agree with you, Anxiety. With the help of our viewers, we will pass this mode.
I hate vents, so we need to get out of here quickly, or I'll smash it to pieces.
And I'm very afraid of vents, so I'll agree with you, Anger.
Don't worry, we're almost out of it already.
Finally, we've made it out of the vent. Let's continue to progress through this mode.
It seems to me, or this corridor smells like rotten fish. As if someone forgot to take their lunch out of the locker.
If I find out who did it, I'll roast them on a big bonfire.
Oh no, Peter Griffin woke up and is chasing us. We need to run away from him quickly.
Tim, stop and punch him right in the nose.
Tim, don't do that. He's taller and stronger than you. It's better to run away from him quickly.
Ooh, he's so fat and disgusting. I think it's him that smells, not the locker.
The path on the left looks safer. Let's run there. And you know what? I think Peter Griffin doesn't have many friends, and he wants to be friends with us. Tim, stop.
Shut up, Joe. Tim, don't listen to her. Keep running.
We did it. We've escaped from him.
Wow, what a big room, but I hate large spaces. Tim, let's hurry and get through it, or I'll burn this room down.
Anger, I disagree with you. This room, despite being huge, is very beautiful. I like it.
And I'm very afraid of large spaces. I feel like someone is about to jump out at me any moment.
Tim, I think we need to climb higher to get through this part.
I'm very afraid of heights. Tim, please be careful and don't fall down. Let's all help our boy Tim together. Subscribe to the channel and like the video if you haven't already, and don't forget to hit the bell icon next to the subscribe button to stay updated on Tim's new adventures.
Have you seen that big red hill? We need to get there quickly and roll down. It seems like it will be a lot of fun.
I hate slides. Despite its red color like mine, I can't stand them. First of all, I don't like their shape, and secondly, I've fallen off slides many times, which is why I developed a hatred for them. If something goes wrong and Tim is hurt, I'll set this slide on fire like a fireworks display and launch it straight into the sky.
What a small ledge here. Tim, be careful not to fall off it. It's better not to look down at all so you don't get dizzy.
To take our minds off this, let's tell a story about how Tim saved up for a phone. The animals escaped from the zoo, and Tim decided to help find them. I, Joy, felt joy from the adventure and hoped for the safe return of each animal to its place.
But my worries, as always, were present. I, Anxiety, worried about Tim's safety and the animals, especially when we faced dangerous situations trying to rescue them.
I was irritated by those responsible for the zoo's fencing, which allowed the animals to escape. Anger. I felt anger as we searched for each animal in hazardous conditions.
Some of the adventures and searches disgusted me, but I understood it was necessary to save the animals, and I tried to suppress my feelings for everyone's benefit. In the end, thanks to our collective effort, we returned all the animals safely to the zoo. It was a real challenge for all of us. Joy, anxiety, anger, and disgust. But we succeeded and felt pride in helping others. Tim was rewarded with money for the phone.
And now we're going to tell you a story about that. How Tim got lost in the woods. Today was a wonderful day for a walk in the forest. Tim, as usual, was full of determination and delight, and we, Joy, couldn't help but share his enthusiasm. Breathing in the fresh air and enjoying the nature around us, we joyfully watched every step Tim took. Our hearts were filled with joy, seeing his smile and feeling his inspiration for exploration.
But despite all our fun, I, Worry, always had my concerns. When Tim began to deviate from the designated route, I started to worry. It's so easy to get lost in the forest, especially if you don't follow landmarks or have a map. My thoughts were occupied with his safety and the potential dangers that could await us in this uncharted part of the forest.
Once it became clear that Tim was indeed lost, I, Anger, was overcome with rage. I was frustrated by his recklessness and carelessness. All these adventures and experiments with fate, it's just nonsense. He should have stuck to the route that was initially planned and not ventured beyond its limits. But I knew now was not the time for anger. We needed to focus on finding and rescuing him.
Traveling through the forest filled me, disgust with aversion. The damp leaves, the smell of moisture, and all those insects. Every bush and tree could be a shelter for creepy creatures, the thought of which made me grimace. But I understood that our main goal was to find Tim, and I overcame my disgust for the sake of the common cause.
In the end, thanks to our combined efforts and coordination, we managed to find Tim. He was slightly scared but safe and sound. It was a real lesson for all of us: joy, worry, anger, and disgust. We learned the importance of balancing fun with caution, risk with safety. This adventure taught us to cherish every moment and not forget the main thing: caring for each other.
And the last story we will tell will be about how Tim played football.
Tim was getting ready for a game against one of the strongest teams in the league, and I, Joy, was filled with energy and inspiration. Seeing his smile and hearing his excited talk about the match filled me with joy. It was a real challenge, and I believed in his abilities and motivation.
However, despite all my joy, I, worry, felt nervous. The strong team, the high level of play, all of this made me worry for Tim. I was concerned that he might feel pressure and not cope with the tough opponents. My thoughts were occupied with possible injuries and failures, and I hoped that his mental strength would help him overcome all difficulties.
As the match started, I, anger, felt unpleasant sensations from the aggressive play of the opponents. Their tough moves, rough rule violations, all of this angered me. I was irritated by the lack of fairness and unsportsmanlike behavior of the opponents, but I knew that Tim needed to stay focused and play honestly despite everything.
Some moments of the game caused me, disgust, to feel dislike. Dirty plays, painful collisions, sweat, and dust on the field. All these things made me feel disgusted. But I understood that it's part of the football world, and my feelings shouldn't hinder supporting Tim.
In the end, thanks to our collective support, Tim managed to stand up against the strong team and win the game. It was a real test for all of us: joy, worry, anger, and disgust. We learned that it's important to maintain a balance of emotions and believe in our friend during the toughest moments. The victory was our collective achievement, and we all felt proud of Tim's accomplishments.
And we thought about it and decided to tell another story about how Tim decided to learn to play the guitar.
Happiness and inspiration engulfed me when Tim decided to learn to play the guitar. I, Joy, saw his eyes light up with the desire to acquire a new skill. Every time he picked up the guitar and tried to produce sounds from it, my heart rejoiced at his creativity and self-improvement.
But I, worry, always had my concerns. I worried that Tim might get disappointed or tired from the challenges on the path to mastering the guitar. Sometimes I felt he was pushing himself too hard and not taking enough time to rest. My focus was on making sure he didn't overburden himself and didn't lose motivatio.
Due to my nature, anger sometimes arose when Tim faced difficulties in learning. I felt irritation at his mistakes and unsuccessful attempts. However, every time I saw him not giving up and continuing to practice, my anger gave way to respect for his perseverance.
Certain aspects of practicing the guitar occasionally aroused disgust in me. For example, the rough sound of strings or exhausting training sessions could trigger a sense of revulsion. However, I understood that this was a natural part of the learning process and tried to balance my feelings with supporting Tim.
Ultimately, thanks to our collective effort and support, Tim made significant progress in learning to play the guitar. It was a lesson for all of us: joy, worry, anger, and disgust. We saw how important it is to believe in oneself and find inspiration in new pursuits. Tim not only mastered a new art, but also taught us the importance of perseverance and determination in achieving goals.
Oh, we got carried away. Let's not distract Tim from defeating boss Peter Griffin and let him gather his thoughts to win.
Hooray, we did it! We defeated Peter Griffin!
And our video has come to an end. Tim hopes you enjoyed it. Good luck to everyone and goodbye.
Hello, dear friends.
Hello.
Hello!
Hi.
Today we will be escaping from prison in Roblox in the mode Barry's Prison Run. But before the escape begins, we wanted to ask you to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and leave a comment on which map Joe should play next.
Yes, this really helps Joe. When you engage with the video, it becomes easier for Joe to complete the modes. Let's help him out.
Again with the vents. I hate them. Just let me know who the person is that installs them, and I'll fry them like a firecracker and blow them up.
Anger, calm down. We've already gotten out of it.
I think we should jump on those blocks to move forward.
Joe, don't look down. I'm really scared. Be careful when jumping on these blocks. If you fall, you'll land on the spikes.
It's so cold here, probably because of those large fans blowing in this direction.
Yes, I agree with you. It's very cold here.
I don't know. I actually feel quite warm.
Wow, these grates don't look very sturdy. Maybe we should look for another way?
No, there's no other way. We have to go through these grates. Joe, be careful when you jump on them.
I think we should break this grate with that key. Joe, take this key and break this grate.
It seems to me like this vent is connected to the bathroom, or why does it smell so bad here? I really dislike this odor.
Disgust, I think you're mistaken. I hear some screams. I think there's danger ahead. Joe, be careful.
Anxiety, you were right. There's a guard there. Joe, you need to be very fast to avoid getting caught by him.
Joe, run away from him quickly. If he catches you, he'll send you back behind bars. I don't think this pipe is meant for walking on.
Don't worry, Joe isn't heavy. He won't be able to break this pipe. Many people have walked and even jumped on it before Joe. As you can see, it's not broken.
Oh no, we forgot to press that red button to open that grate. We need to go down and press it. Joe, be careful not to get caught by the guard. It'll be really bad if you do.
Don't worry about him. He's very, very fat. I think he eats planets for breakfast. He'll never catch you. Even if you walk, he won't catch you. I don't know how they hire such fat guards. He can't catch anyone. Ha ha ha, don't be angry, guard. If you lose weight, you'll be able to catch everyone.
Stop insulting the guard already. It might hurt his feelings. Just run away from him. I even feel sorry for him.
Ah, these damn vents again. How much longer?
I was right after all. It is connected to the bathroom. Ew, it smells so bad here.
Yes, you were right. I really don't like this smell. It's just unbearable.
I completely agree with you. Let's get out of here as quickly as possible.
Here is the source of the smell. Don't pay attention to it, Joe. You need to take that shovel and start digging. We have to do this as quickly as possible.
It seems like a good time for stories. Oh, what a wonderful day it was when Joe decided to cook for the whole family. The kitchen was filled with excitement and anticipation. I could feel the joy bubbling up inside as we gathered ingredients and prepared to create something delicious.
Ugh, cooking again? Why does Joe always have to make such a mess? The chaos in the kitchen was infuriating. Spices scattered everywhere, pots clanging loudly. But I kept my cool, trying not to let my anger boil over.
The smells. Oh, the smells! As soon as Joe started chopping onions, my stomach turned. The pungent aroma filled the air, making me want to gag. Why couldn't Joe choose something less aromatic?
Oh dear, what if Joe burns the food again? I couldn't help but worry as I watched him handle the hot stove. What if something goes wrong? I fretted over every step, hoping we wouldn't end up with another kitchen disaster.
Despite the initial chaos and doubts, Joe's determination and our teamwork prevailed. We all pitched in, each of us playing our part to make sure everything turned out just right. The aroma of a well-cooked meal filled the kitchen, bringing smiles to everyone's faces.
Surprisingly, the food actually tasted good. Maybe Joe isn't so bad in the kitchen after all. I grudgingly admit that all the effort was worth it in the end.
I must admit, despite my initial aversion to the smells, the final dish looked quite appetizing. I cautiously tried a bite and was pleasantly surprised. It was delicious. Perhaps cooking isn't as bad as I thought.
Whew, everything turned out okay. I can relax now. Watching Joe cook was nerve-wracking, but I'm glad we were able to help him and enjoy a meal together as a family.
Now we will tell a story about how Joe learned to swim. Oh, what an exciting day it was when Joe decided to learn how to swim. The sun was shining brightly, and the pool shimmered invitingly. I could feel the anticipation and enthusiasm building up as we gathered by the water's edge.
Why does Joe have to do this now? The water is cold, and I hate getting wet. The thought of dealing with all this splashing and chaos is infuriating. But I tried to keep calm and not let my frustration show.
Oh no, what if Joe sinks or gets hurt? My heart raced with worry as I watched him hesitate at the edge of the pool. What if something goes wrong? I fretted over every possible scenario, fearing the worst.
The water. It's so gross. I can't stand the feeling of it on my skin, and the thought of all those germs floating around makes me shudder. Why did Joe have to choose swimming of all things?
Despite my initial concerns, Joe showed determination and courage. With our encouragement, he took small steps into the water, and I could feel his excitement growing with each stroke.
Oh, more splashing. Why does learning to swim have to be so messy? I grumbled inwardly, but begrudgingly admitted that Joe was making progress, even if it was annoying.
I held my breath as Joe practiced floating and kicking. Every little splash made me jump with anxiety, but I was relieved to see him improving under our watchful eyes.
The chlorine smell? It's overwhelming. I tried to stay back as much as possible, but I couldn't avoid the sensation of being surrounded by water. At least Joe seemed to be getting the hang of it, despite my discomfort.
Now I'll tell you a story about how Joe flew on a plane for the first time.
Oh, it's so exciting! I can't believe the feelings Joe is experiencing right now. I'm just overflowing with joy seeing him here in the airplane. His heart is racing as we take off, his eyes shining with delight. He dreamed of flying for so long, and now, finally, his dream is coming true. I feel his emotions filling every cell of his body. How he enjoys the views outside the window. How he smiles at every flight attendant and seatmate. It's wonderful to be a part of this moment of joy.
This airplane is absolutely dreadful. How can anyone sit comfortably in this cramped space? Why is everyone so slow and inattentive? These flight attendants are just useless. Why couldn't we choose a more comfortable flight? I'm seething with anger every time I see how we're being served. This is simply unacceptable. Joe, why aren't you showing more initiative? Why are you satisfied with this service? This flight isn't even worth our time and money.
What if something goes wrong? I'm nervous beyond belief. All these sounds, movements, vibrations. I can't stop thinking about potential issues. Flying on a plane is so dangerous. What if we have an accident? What if something happens to the engine? Joe doesn't realize all these risks. He's just enjoying the flight. But I fear for him. I feel his fear overwhelming me. His anxiety makes me worry and suffer. Every minute of this flight is a test for our nerves.
How can anyone stand being here? It's just a nightmare. This smell, these sounds, this cramped space. I just can't. I feel disgust washing over me with every breath Joe takes. How can he not feel this horrible atmosphere? It's all so dirty, so unpleasant. I just want to get out of here as quickly as possible. Joe, why can't you hear my cry of disgust? Why don't you understand that this place is simply hell on earth? The next story is about how Joe entered a new class and got to know his new classmates.
It was so exciting. When Joe entered the new class, I couldn't help but rejoice with him. His face lit up with a smile as he greeted his new classmates. He was so open and friendly. He quickly found common ground with the kids in the class, started talking to them, and showing interest in their hobbies. It was wonderful to see him blossom in this new environment, his eyes shining with joy from making new friends. We tried to support him, encourage him, and help him overcome any shyness. Each of his successes brought me immense joy.
I am just furious about this situation. Joe in a new class and his classmates, they are just unpleasant. Why aren't they showing more kindness towards him? Why aren't they making more effort to get to know him better? I am angry at how they are treating him. It's unacceptable. I quickly grew angry seeing how they ignore his attempts to befriend them. Joe deserves better. Why isn't he standing up for himself more? I'm ready to explode with anger if he continues to endure this.
I was terrified when Joe walked into that class. New people, new surroundings. How would he cope? What if they didn't accept him? We agonized over every word he said, every step he took. He looked so tense trying to start a conversation with his classmates. And what if they didn't understand his feelings and intentions? I felt his anxiety, how it overwhelmed him every minute. We tried to give him cues, support him, but every uncertain look he gave to those mocking faces intensified my fears. It was such a nerve-wracking experience.
I feel disgust overwhelming me as Joe tries to interact with these people. They are so unpleasant and hypocritical. How can he stand being in the same class with such awful people? I can't stand their appearance, their voices, their mannerisms. And every time Joe tries to engage in a conversation, I want to close my eyes and escape from here. This atmosphere fills me with disgust, and I hope Joe soon realizes what terrible people surround him.
Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave your comment. Bye, everyone! Hello, dear friends. Today, we are going to escape from the Pomni prison. But before we start, let's all give a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. This will help our boy Tim to complete challenges more often so that videos can come out more frequently. Let's get started with the escape.
Yes, let's get started.
I heard that Pomni can be beautiful, but you should never fall for this provocation. It's a trap. That's how she lures people in and then locks them in a cage. Therefore, you must always remember that she is very evil and bad. Remember, you can never judge someone as good just because of their appearance. Inside, that person could be very bad and betray you at any moment.
Yes, I agree with Anger. You can never put your hopes on someone just because of their beauty.
I think you need to break that grate with the key on the wall. Take this key and break the grate so we can move forward.
Wow, everything here is so colorful, but I don't like it at all. She probably lures people in not only with her beauty, but also with the brightness and vividness of her rooms. But we mustn't pay attention to that either. Otherwise, we'll end up behind bars again and have to escape all over.
She runs much faster than the usual guards. Although it's strange because men are usually faster and more enduring, but apparently not this time. I think she runs day and night to catch her captives. Otherwise, she wouldn't catch anyone.
Yes, she is fast. But our boy Tim is much faster than her. She will never catch him, even if she trained every day to run faster than she currently can. That's because Tim is naturally strong, fast, and enduring. This helps him escape from all kinds of troubles.
I really dislike the brightness of her rooms. It's blinding and irritating to my eyes. I feel like if we don't get out of here soon, we might go blind from all this bright color.
Wow, we've descended into some kind of cave or underground tunnel. Perhaps it was dug by previous escapees from this prison. Despite being underground, it's still very bright here. It looks like colorful and vivid crystals have grown everywhere. The bright light reminds me of fireworks that are set off during various celebrations, such as New Year's, birthdays, and so on.
There are some platforms here. I think we need to jump across them to move forward. Tim, be careful when you're jumping. One wrong move, and you'll fall straight into the lava.
Let's not distract Tim and let him complete this level, so we'll tell the story of how Tim learned to ride a bicycle. One day, Tim decided he wanted to learn how to ride a bike. It was a warm, sunny day, perfect for a new adventure. I, Joy, couldn't wait to help Tim tackle this challenge. Tim took his new bike and went to the empty street near his house. "What an exciting moment," I exclaimed. "Tim is about to do something new and thrilling. I'm sure he'll have a great time." At first, Tim was a little nervous, but I encouraged him. "You can do it, Tim. It's going to be fun and amazing. You'll feel the wind in your hair and the freedom of movement." He put on his helmet and grabbed the handlebars with determination. We were all supporting him.
As Tim began trying to balance, anxiety started to worry. Oh no, what if he falls? What if he gets hurt? What if he can't learn to ride and gets upset? I fretted, watching his every move. Biking can be dangerous. I hope he's careful and doesn't get into trouble.
I, Anger, was irritated by all the difficulties Tim faced. Why does riding a bike have to be so hard? I grumbled. Why can't he just learn immediately? It's so frustrating when things don't go smoothly. But despite my frustration, I knew it was important to support Tim. He has to deal with these challenges to get better, I said. But it's definitely annoying when he falls and makes mistakes.
Disgust watched the process with thinly veiled disdain. Ew, look at those dirty knees and elbows from falling. Why does biking have to be so messy and unpleasant? The sweat and dirt are awful, I complained. But Tim isn't giving up despite all the unpleasant moments. We need to support him, even if it's really gross.
Despite all the worries, frustrations, and unpleasantness, Tim kept practicing diligently. His efforts paid off, and one day he finally managed to ride without falling. "Look at that! He did it!" I cheered. "He learned to ride a bike." All our support and encouragement helped him get through the challenges. He's so proud of himself, and it's such a joy to see his success.
Although Tim succeeded, I still worried a bit. I hope he's careful on the road and always wears his helmet. Biking can be dangerous, but he did great today. I'm glad he learned to ride, but I'll keep worrying about his safety.
I had to admit that seeing Tim finally riding without falling made me a little less irritated. All right, maybe it wasn't as easy as it seemed, and he handled the challenges well. Despite the frustrations, he overcame all the obstacles. Maybe biking isn't so bad after all.
Even though the process of learning to ride a bike was messy and unpleasant, seeing Tim's satisfaction made it more tolerable. I suppose it's worth it if he's happy. Maybe next time won't be so gross. We just have to get through the unpleasant moments to enjoy the success. In the end, Tim's experience learning to ride a bike was memorable, filled with challenges and achievements. Despite all our different feelings, we were all proud of how he learned and succeeded in his new skill.
Before we start the next story, we'd like to ask you to subscribe to the channel and give us a like. The next story will be about Tim's first experience at a concert of his favorite band.
The day Tim had been waiting for had finally arrived. His first concert of his favorite band. Joy, was absolutely thrilled for him. Tim had been counting down the days and preparing for this moment for weeks. When the big day came, he wore his favorite band t-shirt, packed his tickets, and headed to the venue with a huge smile on his face. "This is going to be amazing," I cheered. Tim is about to experience something he's dreamed about for so long. The music, the atmosphere, the excitement. It's going to be unforgettable. As Tim walked into the venue, I felt an overwhelming sense of happiness. Look at him. He's so excited and ready for this experience. It's going to be one of the best nights of his life.
But as Tim got closer to the venue, anxiety started to creep in. What if he loses his tickets? What if there's a problem with the entrance? What if the concert is sold out and he can't get in? I worried, watching him with concern. There are so many things that could go wrong. I hope everything goes smoothly for him. Inside the venue, I continued to fret. The crowd looks huge. What if Tim gets lost or overwhelmed by all the people? What if he has trouble finding his seat? Anxiety was on high alert, hoping that Tim would stay calm and enjoy the concert despite any potential issues.
Anger was feeling frustrated by some of the challenges Tim faced. Why is it so crowded? Why are people pushing and shoving? This is so annoying, I grumbled. It's so irritating when people don't respect personal space. Why can't everyone just be considerate and let Tim enjoy the concert? As the concert started, I became even more irritated. The noise is so loud. Why does it have to be this overwhelming? It's just not fair to Tim that the sound is so intense and the crowd is so chaotic.
Disgust had its own issues with the concert experience. Look at all the spilled drinks and trash on the floor. Why does it have to be so messy? The sticky floors and the smell of sweat are just gross, I complained. And the smell of food mixed with all the sweat is really unpleasant. Despite the mess, Disgust acknowledged that Tim was having a good time. Even though it's disgusting here, I suppose it's worth it if Tim is enjoying the concert. It's just something we have to deal with in these kinds of situations.
Despite all the worries, frustrations, and unpleasantness, Tim was having an incredible time. The band came on stage, and the music was just as amazing as he had hoped. Look at him. He's so happy, singing along and enjoying every moment. This is exactly what he dreamed of, and it's such a joy to see him so thrilled. Tim's excitement was contagious, and even though there were some challenges, the overall experience was fantastic. He's living his dream right now. This night will be a cherished memory for him for years to come.
Even as the concert went on, I was still a bit anxious. I hope Tim stays safe and has a good time. The crowd can be overwhelming, but he seems to be handling it well. I'm relieved that he's enjoying himself despite the challenges.
As the concert went on, I had to admit that the frustration of the crowd and the noise seemed less significant. Okay, maybe it wasn't perfect, and there were some annoying moments, but Tim is really enjoying himself. I suppose the experience is worth the inconvenience.
Even though the venue was messy and unpleasant, seeing Tim's joy made it more bearable. It's still gross here, but if Tim is happy, that's what matters. We just have to get through the unpleasant aspects to enjoy the success of his experience. In the end, Tim's first concert experience was memorable, filled with excitement and challenges. Despite all our different feelings, we were all happy to see how much he enjoyed his favorite band's performance.
Well, The game is coming to an end, and Tim has defeated the final boss. I think he's learned that sometimes appearances can be deceiving and can lead to very bad consequences. It's important to always stay vigilant and cautious to avoid trouble. I hope you've already liked the video and subscribed to the channel. Well, I'm signing off now. Goodbye, everyone. Hello, friends! We're so happy you joined us today. We've got a lot of exciting stuff prepared for you, and we're sure you'll love it.
Yes, yes. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our new adventures. Give us a like so we know you enjoy what we're doing.
Hey, don't waste time. Subscribe to the channel and hit those likes. We're working hard for you, and it's the only way to support us. So come on, do it now.
Yeah, and don't forget to leave a comment. It's important for us to know what you liked or what you'd like to see next.
Well, let's get started. Today, our boy Tim will be playing Roblox in the Escape Toby's Hospital mode.
Oh, a hospital. I hope it won't be too scary. I always get nervous in places like this.
A hospital, huh? Tim can handle anything that comes his way. Let's see how he gets out of this mess.
I hope it's clean there, and there won't be any dirty corridors or filthy instruments. So shall we begin?
Great! We found the key! Tim, let's hurry and open that door! We're almost out of here!
Oh no, the doctor is right behind us. Tim, please be careful and don't drop the key. We need to move quickly.
Run faster, Tim. That doctor won't catch us if you keep up the pace. We won't let him get to us.
I can hear his heavy breathing. Tim, get that door open now. I can't stand the thought of him getting any closer.
This is kind of fun, isn't it? Crawling through the vents feels like we're on a secret mission. Tim, you're doing great.
I don't know, Joy. It's so cramped in here, and we don't know what's ahead. What if there are traps or something worse?
Stop worrying, Anxiety. Tim can handle it. He's been through worse. Just keep moving forward and we'll be out of here in no time.
I hope this vent doesn't get any grosser. I can already feel the dust sticking to my skin. Ugh, this is so disgusting.
Hey, look. I think I see a way out just ahead. We'll be in a new room in no time. Stay positive, everyone.
Oh no, we're here. What's that smell? It's getting stronger. I have a bad feeling about this.
Great, what now? More obstacles? Tim, get ready. We can't afford to slow down.
Look at those pipes. Green slime is oozing out of them. This is a nightmare. Tim, you'll have to jump on those blocks to get across. Just don't touch the slime.
We have an incredible story for you about how Tim ended up on a thrilling treasure hunt on a mysterious island. It all started when Tim found an ancient map in an old library. The map marked the way to a legendary treasure hidden on the enigmatic island. Tim was absolutely thrilled at the idea of going on this adventure.
Oh, absolutely! But it wasn't just about finding the treasure. The island was full of traps and dangers. Tim faced off against nasty sea monsters and evil pirates. One of the toughest moments was when he had to cross a bridge made of creaky planks. Tim kept stumbling and falling into the water. It was definitely not an easy challenge.
I was so worried too. Tim was constantly in danger. In the dark depths of the cave where he was searching for the treasure, he couldn't find his way out. I was afraid he might get lost or fall into some trap. But he showed such determination and managed to find an ancient mechanism that revealed secret passages.
And those creepy caves. They were full of muck, mold, and horrifying spiders that made even me shudder. Tim kept stepping in sticky slime, and the horrid smell filled the cave. It was clear that it wasn't easy for him, but he kept going despite all the disgust.
And finally, after all the hardships, Tim found the treasure. It was hidden in an ancient chest, and when he opened it, fireworks of precious gems exploded into the air. Tim was on cloud 9, and we were all so happy that he had overcome all the obstacles and found the treasure.
Yes, and I must admit he showed incredible willpower. Even though I'm not thrilled that everything went so smoothly for him, he deserves praise for handling those horrible trials.
It was a tense journey, and I'm glad it ended well. Tim proved that even in the scariest situations, you can find a way out.
Yes, although it was frightening and disgusting, Tim managed to overcome all the challenges. And perhaps those unpleasant experiences made his adventure even more exciting.
In the end, Tim returned home full of new experiences and stories. And although the journey was tough, he proved that with determination and bravery, you can overcome any obstacle. I hope you enjoyed this story. Get ready for another exciting story about Tim's adventure in a fantastical realm. This time, Tim found himself in a magical land where he had to compete in a grand tournament to save the Enchanted Kingdom. The tournament had all kinds of incredible challenges, From dragon racing to wizard duels, Tim was beyond thrilled to prove himself in such a magical setting.
Oh, the tournament wasn't all rainbows and butterflies. Tim had to face off against some of the most ruthless competitors. There was a particularly nasty sorcerer who constantly tried to sabotage Tim's efforts. Tim was furious when his dragon was tampered with and almost lost the race. It was infuriating to see how low some people can go just to win.
I was on edge the whole time. The stakes were incredibly high, and one mistake could mean disaster. Tim had to navigate through a labyrinth filled with hidden traps and mystical beasts. There were moments when I feared he might get trapped or face a dangerous creature that could end his quest. Every turn seemed like it could be his last.
And the conditions in the labyrinth were just dreadful. The walls were covered in slimy moss, and the air was thick with a foul stench. Not to mention the creepy crawlies and the occasional burst of foul-smelling gas that made the whole experience just revolting. Tim had to wade through muck and fight off disgusting critters while trying to stay focused.
Despite all the challenges, Tim's perseverance paid off. He managed to navigate through the labyrinth, beat the sorcerer in the final duel, and win the grand prize, a magical artifact that could restore peace to the kingdom. Tim's excitement was through the roof when he realized he had saved the realm and achieved his goal.
It was satisfying to see Tim triumph over those who tried to bring him down. Even though it was a hard-fought victory, Tim showed that determination and courage can overcome even the nastiest obstacles.
I'm relieved that everything turned out well in the end. Tim's bravery and quick thinking saved the day. The tension was immense, but he handled it all with incredible skill.
As much as I hated the nasty conditions and the gross encounters, I have to give Tim credit for pushing through. His ability to endure the disgusting aspects of the quest and still come out on top was truly impressive.
And that's the story of Tim's magical tournament adventure. He proved once again that no matter how challenging or disgusting the situation, with determination and a positive spirit, you can achieve greatness. Thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoyed the story. Today, we're going to tell you an incredible story about how we, joy, anger, anxiety, and disgust, used to be in the mind of a criminal. Yes, it's true. We were part of his mind and helped him turn his life around. It all started many years ago when this criminal was just beginning his path.
Yeah, it was something. We were all filled with rage and hatred, and honestly, it was quite an unpleasant time. This criminal was furious, and I was the main source of his anger. He constantly directed his rage at others, which of course led him to a lot of problems.
On the other hand, I was there to remind him of all the possible dangers and consequences of his actions. My anxiety and fear often spilled over to him, making his life even more stressful. I was always in his head, highlighting how risky and dangerous everything was.
I can't forget how I filled his mind with repulsive thoughts. He was full of disgust towards the world around him, and that didn't help his mood at all. He only saw the bad in everything, which just made things worse.
But everything changed one fine day. At some point, he started to realize that this life wasn't bringing him happiness. I began to remind him that joy and satisfaction could be found outside of this darkness. We started working together to guide him on the right path.
Yeah, I admit it wasn't easy. He had to deal with my anger and learn to control it, but in the end, he learned to use it for positive purposes. He began fighting for justice instead of spreading chaos.
I also helped him by showing that fear and anxiety could be used to avoid real threats and make thoughtful decisions. I taught him that sometimes dangers can be prevented by taking the right measures.
And I played my part too. I helped him see that disgust and aversion could be overcome, and that it's important to strive for cleanliness and order. He learned to appreciate the good things in life and stopped focusing on what disgusted him.
In the end, we all helped him change his life. Now he lives an honest life, helps others, and has found his place in society. We are proud that we were able to help him become the best version of himself.
Yes, I'm glad he realized that anger isn't the path to happiness. He learned to use his energy for something good.
And I'm happy that his fear and anxiety now help him avoid real dangers, rather than creating them.
And I'm glad he was able to overcome his negative feelings and find joy in life.
So, friends, that's the story. Even the darkest and most negative thoughts can be transformed into something good. It's never too late to change your life for the better. Thanks for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed our story.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride. Remember, even when things get tough, you've got the power to make a change.
And if you ever feel overwhelmed, just take a deep breath and think things through. You've got this.
Don't forget to keep things clean and stay true to yourself. It's the little things that make a big difference.
Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed our time together. Your support really helps.
Goodbye for now. Remember, keep striving for the best.
Bye, everyone.